Here comes the sick metas. Greetings, my fellow DC meta heads. We are all aware that right from the Doomsday Clock storyline, the entire DC multiverse has been labeled officially as a metaverse. It is a multiverse which is always changing, with millions of universes getting created and dying every moment. Today we will delve deep into the lore of top 26 such worlds that have existed over time inside the DC metaverse. Worlds where darkness is prevalent, where our familiar superheroes and the scenarios around them are twisted and disturbing to the point that you will ask yourself, is there any way that this Earth can be redeemed? Well, sometimes we do find glimmers of hope, but most of them have traveled beyond the point of saving. But before we begin, we have a small request. If you like our content, please subscribe to our channel. It is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. So without further ado, let us dive straight into the sick, twisted earths of the DC metaverse. Number 26, Batman or Dark Joker, The Wild. This Elseworlds story came out in 1994 and was written by Doug and drawn by Kelly Jones. In this universe, we saw two godly beings of magic, Magister and Lilandra, give birth to their second child, who would be the avatar of The Wild. They were attacked and murdered by Dark Joker and his ogres. Joker took Magister's talisman and couldn't make it work. He also took their secret cask but couldn't open it. In his anger, he threw the child from the eyrie. He thought that the child died, but it turned into a bat and flew into a jungle. 23 years later, a stranger warned the villagers about the Dark Joker. The griefs of the villagers were misdirected towards the stranger, who was revealed to be a sorceress named Saressa. They tried to burn her, but the jungle came alive and killed them. She contacted the child of Magister and Lilandra, who was now a bat-like predator and led an animalistic life in the wild. Saressa taught the Batman how to speak and communicate. She revealed that the cask that the Joker stole contained the essence of many evils and must never be opened. On learning from her that Dark Joker killed his parents, the Batman was enraged with vengeance. Later, while Batman went on a hunt, Dark Joker attacked and killed Saressa. He marked himself with Saressa's magical blood and turned into a more evolved and defined Batman, no more a mere animal. Meanwhile, Dark Joker tricked an innocent boy to open the cask and release the essence of all evil. Then he attacked Hightown with his armies of monsters. Batman took the help of the people of Hightown and went into battle with Dark Joker, but he escaped. Batman gained the trust of the Hightowners and attacked the Dark Joker at the eyrie. After a vicious battle, he bit open Dark Joker's throat and threw him from the eyrie, finishing him once and for all. In the end, the Batman revealed to the Hightowners that he was able to transform into a man at will and told them to call on him whenever there was trouble. This is a weird, horrific and bloody tale of the occult that ended on a very hopeful note. Number 25, Batman, the Tyrant. This Elseworlds story was written by Alan Grant and drawn by Tom Rainey and Joe Staton, which was released in Shadow of the Bat Annual Number 2 in 1994. In this universe, on the night of his parents' murder, Bruce Wayne was rescued by Jonathan Crane, who trained him to use fear against criminals. Bruce became a philanthropist and was elected the civic leader of Gotham. When a bat crashed into his study, he adopted it as his symbol. During a fight with the Joker, Bruce's identity was revealed and the people of Gotham sympathized with him after learning the truth about his parents' murder. As both Bruce Wayne and Batman, he ruled Gotham with an iron fist, resulting in a 70% reduction in crime. However, a rebellious teenage boy named Lonnie Machin, who was secretly Anarchy, rallied both the villains and the people of Gotham against Batman's regime, revealing that he was drugging everyone to keep them under control. The group was known as the Subversives. Vicky Vale, also known as Catwoman, was caught breaking the Wayne Tech and arrested by Batman, who also arrested Commissioner Gordon for aiding her. Crane used them as test subjects for a gas that would eliminate free will, turning villains into vegetables. Anarchy planned a threefold attack on Batman on Parents' Day, but the villains killed Alfred and were hunted down and shot by the police. Batman and Crane attempted to release the gas into Gotham, but were stopped by Anarchy and the Subversives. Crane used the gas to stop everyone, including Anarchy, and revealed that he had been drugging Batman since childhood. Crane ordered Batman to kill Anarchy, but he refused. Anarchy detonated the bomb in his belt, killing Crane, and escaped. Batman confessed everything on TV and surrendered to the people of Gotham. In the end, the people burnt down Wayne Manor and killed Batman. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. That is what happened in this universe. Batman's war on crime reduced to his tragic burning of the pier for the sick mistakes he had done. 24. I, Joker. Batman I, Joker was an Elseworlds graphic novel that was written and drawn by Bob Hall and was released in 1998. This twisted tale takes place in a futuristic version of Gotham, where a supervillain known only as the Bruce reigns as a despotic leader. Every year on a sacred day called the Night of Blood, citizens compete for the chance to become the new Batman and defeat the Bruce by first overcoming one of Batman's most formidable foes who have undergone surgical enhancements. Joe Collins, along with his girlfriend Maria and friend Dar, formed a resistance against the Bruce. Their plan to infiltrate Bruce's fortress via the Batcave was foiled when Dar betrayed them. In retaliation, Joe killed Dar before he could reveal their location. Subsequently, Dr. Cliburn, one of Bruce's minions, surgically transformed Joe into a Joker while preserving his memories. Bruce crushed Maria's larynx and she was reduced to being Bruce's silent Robin. Joe discovered a recording of the original Bruce Wayne, who implored that if Gotham ever needed saving, someone must take up the mantle of Batman. With this in mind, Joe donned the cowl and confronted the Bruce on his citadel's rooftop. Joe emerged victorious, urging the Bruce to confess his fallibility to his people. However, Maria killed the Bruce with Cliburn's surgical laser. Joe and Maria then became the new Batman and Robin of Gotham City. However sick and twisted this universe was, the villains stood up to the heroes in the end and upheld justice, bringing a glimmer of hope into a world this dark. Number 23. Catwoman, Guardian of Gotham. Catwoman, Guardian of Gotham is an Elseworlds story released in 1999 and was written by Doug and drawn by Jim Ballant. In the universe, we see an alternate version of Gotham where Thomas and Martha Kyle were the parents of Selina Kyle. On a fateful night, both of them were killed and Selina was left as an orphan. She trained herself while growing up and then took up the mantle of Catwoman to fight crime and rid Gotham of criminals. She worked with Gordon, who called her using a cat signal. But the sickest part of the story was that Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, was a disturbed serial killer who killed the Joker in his opening scene and then killed the rest of Catwoman's rogues gallery, so they couldn't steal his thunder. As Bruce Wayne, he started flirting with Selina and then seducing her. Selina became intrigued and fell for him. They eventually marry each other. Bruce dropped the act real soon and murdered Selina's best friend Brooks by stabbing her with a batarang knife through her chest. He then attacked Selina and both of them fought. In the end, Selina overpowered him and held him while he hanged from the top of a citadel. Bruce revealed that he was the one who killed Selina Kyle's parents just for fun. Bruce fell and crashed on a rock and was carried away by the river. Later, Selina visited her parents' grave and whispered that she was going to be a mother of a daughter. God, what twisted characters. Imagine an obsessed Batman who is a serial killer and wants nothing but to cause pain to a woman he is married to. That is far more dangerous than the Joker, I must say. Number 22. JLA, The Nail. This Elseworlds story came out in 3 issues in 1998. It was written and drawn by Alan Davis. In this universe, due to a flat tire as a result of a nail, farmers Jonathan and Martha Kent did not find the rocket ship that carried baby Kyle in it. The Justice League was now composed of Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, The Flash, Hawkwoman, The Atom, Martian Manhunter, and Green Lantern. Along with Metropolis Mayor Lex Luthor and Vice Mayor Jimmy Olsen, journalist Perry White ran an anti-metahuman campaign of lies. Green Arrow, having lost his ability to move during a fight, believed that the Justice League is an extraterrestrial organization that is plotting against mankind. Hawkman had lost his life in the same fight. One by one, all metahuman organizations like the Doom Patrol and the Outsiders, followed by the supervillains, were systematically eliminated. Using energy-generating gauntlets he created to free Arkham Asylum's inmates, Joker caught Batman off guard and killed Robin and Batgirl. Catwoman set Batman free. Batman broke the Joker's gauntlets and severed his neck on live television as Arkham erupted. While the Justice League's credibility was damaged by the Joker's murder, Batman and Catwoman withdrew to the Batcave. The investigative journalist Lois Lane discovered that it was Jimmy who was the mastermind. He had Luthor experiment on him to create a Kryptonian hybrid, and Jimmy was experimenting on other metahumans to create a society of Kryptonians. Batman, Catwoman, Atom, and Flash helped the Justice League escape. When Jimmy tried to kill Batman, he was stopped by a farmer from an Amish community, who was revealed to be Clark. Jimmy killed his parents with heat vision when he refused to join them. In a fit of rage, Clark started punching Jimmy and he disintegrated and died. Clark then joined the Justice League and became this Earth's Superman. So we all know that a universe without Superman is sure to drive downhill in the sickest way possible. However, this universe universe was also saved in the end by the glimmer of hope that Superman is. Number 21. Batman Two Faces. This Elseworlds story was written by Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning and drawn by Anthony Williams and Tom Palmer. Released in 1998, this story was homage to R.L. Stevenson's novel The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. This universe shows us a Gotham City in the Victorian era. In the year 1886, a gala was arranged by millionaire Bruce Wayne to exhibit the Twilight Orchid, which Gordon and Pamela Islay attended with other people of Gotham. The Twilight Orchid was a flower that sported exquisite colors and attracted insects throughout the day, and lost all colors and became a weed and attracted only pests at night. Two-Face and his group of thugs attacked the gala and killed Pamela in front of a helpless Bruce. Bruce became obsessed with the idea of curing Two-Face's dual personality disorder. He created a potion from the flower retrieved from Pamela's dead hands. He drank the potion himself in order to test it and was gifted with superhuman strength. He developed a sense of purpose and decided to decimate Two-Face's criminal empire dressed up as Batman. Meanwhile, girls at Selina Kyle's brothel were getting murdered by a white-skinned madman dubbed as the Joker. While the Joker was beating up Two-Face's thugs, Selina intervened. Joker, with his superhuman strength, beat her up and paralyzed her from waist down. Alfred warned Bruce against consuming the potion, but in his obsession, he drank a more potent concoction. In his trance, he got a revelation and sent letters to Gordon and Two-Face to meet him. Upon meeting, Batman revealed that he himself was the Joker and turned into the Joker in front of them. While he was going to kill Two-Face, Bruce's consciousness took control and he jumped to his death. In order to fulfill Bruce's last wish, Two-Face drank the potion and cured himself of the duality. He donned the bat costume and started fighting for justice. So here we are bombarded with the question that what if the Batman and Joker identities existed in the same person? And once you know the answer, you know that it can give birth to the sickest human being that ever existed. Number 20. Batman, The Doom That Came to Gotham. This Elseworlds story came out in 2001 and was written by Mike Mignola and Richard Pace, with artwork by Troy Nixey. In this universe, the year was 1920. Explorer Bruce Wayne and his team were on a mission to find Professor Oswald Cobblepot, and they stumbled across an ancient monster buried in ice. After narrowly escaping with Cobblepot's man Grendon, they discovered that Grendon was still alive but had the ability to freeze everything around him. Back in Gotham, Bruce found the corpse of Kirk Langstrom in his manor and met Jason Blood, who warned him of an impending evil that could only be stopped by Bruce's own death. As Batman, Bruce investigated and found Langstrom's diary, which spoke of a cursed book called The Testament of Ghul, in the possession of Professor Manford. However, Talia al Ghul stole the book and brought her father Ra's al Ghul back to life, unleashing a plague on Gotham that turned Batman into an undead creature. Meanwhile, Jason and Dick were killed by Killer Croc and Grendon, who had become Mr. Freeze. With Gotham in chaos, Tim Drake met Oliver Queen, a soldier of God with holy weapons, and they battled the weed creature summoned by Ra's. The ghost of Crosby Manford revealed that ancient gods were returning and Harvey Dent's left side had become a gateway to their realm. Batman killed Croc and impaled the Testament of Ra's, leading to a battle with Ra's and his eventual demise. Log Sulphur, a powerful god, arrived and killed Talia al Ghul, but Etrigan helped Batman defeat him and close the gateway. In the end, Batman retreated from public view and continued protecting Gotham as a bat creature. The story blends ancient, twisted Lovecraftian horror with Batman's classic rogues gallery, creating a thrilling and dark tale filled with hideous monstrosities. 19. Multiversity, Earth 43, the Vampire Earth. The Earth was designated as Earth 43 from this universe. This universe made its first appearance in the Multiversity Guidebook issue number 1 in March 2015. In this universe, all of the superheroes in the Justice League have changed into vampires. The vampiric contagion on Earth 43 started with Batman during Batman Dracula Red Rain story, where he was bitten by Dracula and turned into a vampire. Batman defeated Dracula, but in the end, he turned into a vampire and gave in to the thirst of human blood after drinking Joker dry. He was eventually put to rest by a stake through his heart, but had to be summoned back by Alfred to stop the uprising crime wave in Gotham. Batman, now an animalistic vampire, killed off almost all criminals in and out of Arkham and himself became an unstoppable killing force. In the end, while fighting Two-Face's forces, he was fatally injured. Alfred sacrificed his life to give Batman the final fighting strength. Batman killed all of the villains brutally, but Gordon also died in the fight. In the end, when there was no one left, Batman walked off into the sunlight and disintegrated himself into dust, finding peace in death. However, it was later retconned to show that Batman was still alive and somehow all the Justice Leaguers turned into vampires. This dark lore never shied away from treading the murky and gory waters, a universe so twisted that the only predominant nature that exists here for its inhabitants is bloodthirst. 18. Earth 22, JLA Kingdom Come. This Elseworlds story was released in 1996 and was written by Mark Waid and illustrated by Alex Ross. In this godforsaken universe, Lois Lane and all the employees of the Daily Planet were killed by the Joker. Although heartbroken, Superman tried to bring Joker by the book, but the Joker was killed by a new superhero named Magog. Losing faith in the ways of an increasingly violent breed of new superheroes, Superman went into seclusion in the Fortress of Solitude. However, Magog's mission to bring in the parasite failed when he ripped open Captain Atom's containment suit and caused a nuclear blast, destroying Midwest America. Persuaded by Wonder Woman, Superman returned to bring order and form a new Justice League. Superman gathered an army of heroes to fight alongside him. He helped lock up other violent superheroes into the prison named Gulag to recondition them. But Luthor ordered a brainwashed Captain Marvel to break open the Gulag. A war ensued between the new Justice League and the prisoners of Gulag. In order to stop the war, the USA planned a nuclear attack on the Gulag. Batman and Wonder Woman joined in to contain the fight. Superman was bloodied up with Captain Marvel's magic thunderbolts, but finally convinced him to take a side. As Superman was going to stop the final warhead, Marvel sacrificed himself to detonate it midair, but not before it wiped out almost a third of the superheroes. Superman, losing faith in humankind, attacked the UN building, but was convinced to act like a human by Minister Norman McKay. In the end, Superman started the process of repairing the farmlands in the Midwest that were destroyed by Magog's onslaught. He started a family with Wonder Woman and appointed Batman as his unborn kid's godfather. Although the story in this universe started on a bleak note and the reality was severely dark, it was finally lit up with the newfound faith of Superman for humankind. He finally understood that men are still good. 17. Dark Multiverse, Earth 52, The Red Death. The Gotham City of Earth 52 took its toll on Batman, and when the rising crime wave killed all of his sidekicks, prompting Bruce to look for more drastic measures to halt the crimes. Bruce always thought he wasn't quick enough to stop the criminals from getting their act done, so Batman decided that he could wield the Speed Force more effectively than the Speedster himself, so he set his eyes on the Flash from his universe. Batman eliminated all of the rogues for the Flash and grabbed their weapons, which he then used to combat the Flash for his abilities. After Bruce defeated Barry, he used his Batmobile, which had combined with the Cosmic Treadmill, to run into the Speed Force and absorb the Flash with his abilities. Barry's awareness was continually begging with Batman to stop, but Bruce emerged from the Speed Force dressed as Batman, the Red Death. He then started killing members of his own rogues gallery in Gotham. When his dark world started collapsing, he was recruited by the Batman Who Laughs to be a part of Barbatos's Dark Knights and attack Main Earth. In the final act of the Metal event, when the expansion of universe was taking place, Red Death was hit with pure white energy that expunged the Bruce Wayne persona, and Barry Allen of Earth 52 took over. He pleaded with the Flash of Main Earth to run and escape while he held off the expansion. He disintegrated when the expansion happened, so the last villain of this dark universe emerged a hero in his death after all. 16. Batman, Last Night on Earth. This story was written by Scott Snyder and drawn by Greg Capullo. It was released under DC's Black Label line in 2019. The story was set in a post-apocalyptic world where all the superheroes had fallen. Bruce Wayne is shown as an inmate of Arkham, where all his rogues gallery were doctors and orderlies, and Alfred was his butler and caretaker. He discovered that it was all a ruse and broke free with the talking head of Joker. He discovered a nightmare world where Coast City city had been bombed to ashes, and there were frequent speedstorms that decimated anything in its way. Bruce went to meet an aged Diana in the Gemworld bunker. There, Diana revealed that he was actually a clone of Bruce that was created by Bruce's machine that he made so that every generation can have a Batman. When the world was at the brink of destruction due to extinction of energy and global warming, Superman went into a wager with Lex on good versus evil. He lost and was killed with kryptonite. Batman opened the gates of the Hall of Justice to appeal to people, but driven sadistic by Lex Luthor, the people attacked and killed all the superheroes and villains alike, and the world fell into its doom. Then a villain named Omega took control of the world and started ruling it with the anti-life equation emanating from Darkseid's severed head. She gave Bruce the original Batman's costume and set him further on his quest. In his quest, Batman met Luthor, who was experimenting by opening cosmic portals and trying to bring Superman's rocket ship on Earth again, so that this world too can have a hope. When Batman reached the neo-futuristic Gotham, he met and allied with Nightwing. Nightwing was now a Talon and running a resistance against Omega, whose base was Gotham. Joker's head was fitted into a robot with a Robin symbol. All of them attacked Omega. Diana found out that the amplifier to the anti-life equation was actually Martian Manhunter. Omega revealed to Batman that he was the original Bruce Wayne. He lost faith in humanity after the people tore him limb from limb. He took the help of robotics to keep himself alive, and now his plan was to install his consciousness into young Bruce's body so that he could be whole again. Meanwhile, Diana managed to subdue Martian with a lasso of truth. Bruce and Omega fought a bloody battle, and Bruce stabbed Omega in the neck, killing him, but not before showing him that his reign had ended. In the end, Batman and his allies met and waited at the location of one of Luthor's cosmic portals, and through that, a rocket ship arrived, carrying a baby Superman, a new hope for Earth. So although the lore of this universe started dark, sick and twisted, it was redeemed in the end by the destruction of evil and the arrival of hope. 15. The Earth of Flashpoint. Perhaps one of the sickest universes to come along in 2011 was the Flashpoint universe, when Barry Allen ran into the past to save his mother from being murdered by the evil Eobard Thawne. He caused the Flashpoint, changing existence and creating a new world. In this world, Bruce Wayne was killed by Joe Chill. In their grief and desperation, Dr. Thomas Wayne became the murdering vigilante Batman, and Martha Wayne turned into an insane child killer Joker. Thomas was contacted by Barry Allen, who told him the reason his Flashpoint world existed. He asked for Thomas's help. Thomas decided to help out, but only on the condition that Bruce should live in the restored world. Meanwhile, Martha murdered Dent's kids and killed one of them along with Gordon. Thomas pleaded with her to stop and told her that Bruce can be brought back. Martha was pacified, but when she learned that in the restored world Bruce became Batman, she ran in a fit of hysteria and fell into the Batcave and seemingly died. Here, Kal-El was one of the many children who were rocketed to different planets from Krypton in order to fulfill a planetary invasion by Jor-El. Kal's rocket was found by the US military, and he was taken in for experimenting in order to create a new breed of super soldiers. He was designated as Subject 1 and was secretly trained by Subject 0 to hone his powers. He attempted an escape but was locked up again and grew up in solitary. Devoid of any sunlight, his powers never matured. There was chaos all over the Earth as there was a civil war going on between Atlantis and Amazon as Wonder Woman beheaded Mera, the love of Aquaman. Lois Lane ran a resistance against the Amazons. When Barry got back his powers, he freed Kal-El with the help of Thomas and Cyborg. In the final showdown, Enchantress betrayed the Marvel family and changed them to their mortal form. Billy Batson was killed by Penthesilea. The world started crumbling under extreme seismic activity. In the end, Thomas killed the Reverse Flash by stabbing him through the chest, and Barry ran back to stop himself from creating the Flashpoint world. The irredeemable Flashpoint world ceased to be, and the new 52 Earth was born. 14. Tales from the Dark Multiverse. Death of Superman. This Earth from the Dark Multiverse debuted in Tales from the Dark Multiverse, The Death of Superman, issue number 1, in December 2019. This issue was written by Jeff Loveness. On this Earth, Lois Lane blamed the Justice League as they could not save Superman from dying at the hands of Doomsday. She discovered the Eradicator while she was paying respects to the Kets and decided to become a vessel to its power. She turned into a Kryptonian and took on the emblem of the Elves in order to serve Earth. With time, her obsession grew and she wanted to do more. She took things into her own hands and started punishing the guilty without any regard for human life. In the course, she also killed Lex Luthor, who was storing a nuclear arsenal that was causing radiation poisoning. She was confronted by Batman armed with kryptonite after she killed the Joker. She easily overpowered Batman and killed him. While she was fighting Cyborg Superman, the original Superman was brought back to life in the Restoration Matrix. Superman, who wasn't at his full power yet, confronted her and tried to talk sense into her. But in the battle with Cyborg Superman, kryptonite gas was released and Superman succumbed to his death. Lois, though heartbroken, believed that her presence was now more than required, continued to impose her force on the world. There was no hope for this world, no redemption. It would eventually crumble under its own negative energy like all other Earths from the Dark Universe. Number 13. The Deceased Universe. Deceased was a mini-series released in May 2019. This book was written by Tom Taylor and drawn by Trevor Hairsine. In this alternate universe, Darkseid abducted Cyborg in order to extract half of the anti-life equation from his techno-organic circuitry. He summoned Black Racer and forced out his essence of death in order to keep Cyborg alive during the extraction. Darkseid mixed the essence of death with his anti-life and injected it into Cyborg. The anti-life equation was corrupted and turned Darkseid into a raging, flesh-eating deadite. Victor escaped by booming himself to Earth. On arrival, he connected to all electronic devices and satellites via the internet, and the virus spread itself, turning people into enraged, flesh-eating deadites. Superman immediately started quarantining the infected, including his father, Jonathan Kent, and secluding the survivors. Batman, Nightwing, Tim Drake, Hal Jordan all became infected and had to be killed. When the Flash got infected and he started infecting everyone around the world at super speed, Superman decided to stop him in his path. He flew from the other side of the world and shredded Flash into pieces. However, Flash's fingers got stuck into him and infected him. He fought off the infection for long and bid goodbye to his family and surviving friends and left for space to die. But the infection took over. He returned and started destroying the life arcs and infecting others. Wonder Woman made a sword from kryptonite and cut off his arm and stabbed him. Superman's son, John, drove him to space to buy time for planetary evacuation, but was badly hurt. The Green Lanterns joined in and tried to contain Superman. All the major heroes were either dead or got infected. Wonder Woman got infected and beheaded Cyborg. Superman retreated into the sun and started absorbing its power, slowly drawing the entire universe towards an ice age. The heroes went to another Earth in arcs to escape the Deadites. However, Cyborg's severed head held the antidote, who signaled the heroes. Sometime later, John Kent came back and retrieved Cyborg's head and the antidote, and they were able to revive many infected superheroes, including Superman. The Deceased Universe saw its own fair share of death of the heroes, but held on to and built up whatever scrap of hope they had left. 12. Dark Multiverse, Earth 44, The Murder Machine. On Earth 44, when Bruce was a little kid, his parents were murdered, and Alfred Pennyworth, his butler, reared him. He adopted the persona of Batman as an adult to combat crime, and he later joined the Justice League as one of its original members. Finally, members of Batman's Rogues Gallery brutally killed Alfred in the Batcave. As a result, Batman developed a sense of guilt over Alfred's passing, since he felt it was his responsibility. He made the hero Cyborg a request at Alfred's burial, asking for assistance in developing an artificial intelligence version of Alfred who could assist him with the tasks Alfred used to perform. Bruce and Cyborg started constructing the Alfred Protocol when Cyborg volunteered to help. This protocol was created to be housed in a hologram that could manifest actual weapons if required, and it was tasked with helping and defending Bruce in any way it could. The Alfred Protocol quickly started replicating new robotic enhancements and holograms after being triggered, spreading like a virus. After just the day of activation, it went through Arkham Asylum, killing every convict, since it saw them as threats to Batman. Cyborg begged for his removal. Batman's consciousness, however, was taken over by the protocol in order to protect himself. Bruce's biological body was replaced with a mechanical one that would never fail him after Alfred removed his capacity for fear and grief. The protocol considered everyone a threat to Bruce, so Bruce started a campaign of mass murder. He killed Cyborg and the entire Justice League of Earth 44. When reality came crumbling down, the Batman who laughs offered him a place in Barbatos's army. The Justice League of Main Earth fought the Murder Machine with the help of the armor built from Element X by Hal Jordan. His nanobot body disintegrated into pieces during the fight. However, this Earth could not be saved. It disintegrated the same as other Earths from dark multiverses. 11. Dark Multiverse Earth 32, the Dawnbreaker. On Earth 32, like any other Earth, Bruce's parents were murdered by Joe Chill. Bruce ran away, but his soul was filled with a void, expunging all emotion from his heart and soul. A nearby Green Lantern ring flew to him, offering him a place in the Green Lantern Corps. He wore the ring and attacked Joe Chill. When he ordered the ring to kill Chill, the ring denied, as it did not have the directives to take a life. Bruce imposed his void on the ring and overrode the directive, which overcharged the ring beyond limits. He killed Chill with the ring, then went to his parents' grave and resurrected them as zombies. When he started his killing spree, he stuck only to the criminals. But when Gordon stopped him, he killed him too. He grew so limitlessly powerful that he killed the entire Green Lantern Corps and the Guardians of the Universe, and entered the power battery to consume it. He became Batman, the Dawnbreaker. But just like other worlds from the multiverse, his world started crumbling too, as it was destined to. The Batman Who Laughs recruited him into Barbatos' army to destroy main Earth. He fought and defeated most of them, but in the end he was removed from existence when the heroes connected with the souls of every being on Earth and the power from the source, using their costumes of Element X, and created a new reality. 10. Dark Multiverse Earth 11, the Drowned. Sylvester Kyle, the love interest of Bruce Wayne, the Batwoman of Earth 11, was assassinated by a group of unruly metahumans. Batwoman killed every metahuman on Earth's surface over the course of the following 18 months in order to get revenge on Sylvester. Heartbroken and furious, she had lost faith in all the metahumans. Eventually, the Atlanteans, under the command of Aquawoman, broke the surface in an effort to make peace with land residents. When peace negotiations with the surface became bitter, Batwoman attacked Aquawoman and murdered her by impaling the monarch with her trident. Gotham City was entirely flooded by the Atlanteans and submerged underwater. Batwoman, who was desperate to confront the Atlantean troops, made the decision to surgically change her physiology and genetics in order to have a greater chance of surviving them. She also chose to construct an army of monsters she dubbed Dead Water to help her in the battle. She killed all the Atlanteans and submerged the entire world underwater and illuminated Gotham with a bat signal. But when the lights went out and the world started crumbling, Batman Who Laughs appeared and presented her with an opportunity to conquer the multiverse as one of the Dark Knights of Barbatos. So Earth 11 crumbled and she fought the entire Justice League of main Earth during the Dark Knight's Metal event. In the final battle, she was killed by the Aquaman of main Earth when he impaled her with his trident. Even amongst all the Earths from the Dark Multiverse, this Earth is perhaps the murkiest and the dankest incarnation, driven by nothing but vengeance wrought out of love. Number 9. Dark Multiverse Earth 12, the Merciless. On Earth 12, Bruce Wayne's parents were murdered and he became Batman when he grew up to fight crime. He had taken a vow to fight for justice and always show mercy, unlike his opponents. War broke out in an effort to halt Ares, the Greek god of war, when he built a helmet that multiplied his abilities 100-fold. Batman and Wonder Woman battled side by side for 2 years. Bruce and Diana fell in love while the conflict was going on. To put a stop to the god of war's reign of terror once and for all, Bruce and his companions promised to kill Ares. Batman and Diana managed to get the helmet off Ares, but Diana was badly hurt in the fight. Believing that Diana had died, Bruce wore the helmet out of rage and killed Ares. But he was corrupted by the power of the helmet, and he realized that his code of mercy was not of any worth. He became Batman, the Merciless. The Merciless helmet magnified all of Ares' abilities 100 times and let him use them. The Valhalla Warhead's full power, which might kill every life in the solar system, could be absorbed by him. This was due to his influence as the god of battle and as the center and soul of Mount Olympus in his universe. Merciless could manipulate any sentient being to become enraged and go into fight. With the helmet on, he could even look into the souls of mankind, control them, and make them worship him. He also owned the Golden Drachma, an object made from all the gold coins from the Themyscira's deceased Amazonians that were melted. He could command any army of restless warrior spirits by ringing the enormous piece of currency. He was so heavily drunk on power that he even killed Diana when she tried to stop him. He killed all the heroes and villains alike. With no end to his madness, he went on and killed all the gods of Themyscira. Similar to the other worlds in Multiverse, Earth 12 was also ending when Merciless was recruited by Batman Who Laughs in Barbatos' army. He was removed from existence with the white light of the source when the heroes connected to it. Number 8. Earth 31. The Dark Knight Returns. Earth 31 depicted a dystopian version of Gotham City in 1986. The story centered around Bruce Wayne, who, at 55 years old, had retired from his role as Batman after the death of Jason Todd a decade prior. The city was overrun by crime and a gang called the Mutants were terrorizing its citizens. Wayne, upon seeing news reports about the mutants, decided to return to his vigilante role as Batman. He foiled multiple crimes and targeted the mutants. Batman discovered that Harvey Dent, previously known as Two-Face, was planning to hold Gotham ransom with a bomb. Batman defeated Dent but realized that his mind had been warped into his Two-Face persona. A young girl named Carrie Kelly, inspired by Batman, became his new protege. Batman fought the mutant leader and was almost killed due to his age and lack of physical activity. Later, Batman strategically defeated the mutant leader, causing some of the mutants to disband and form smaller gangs. Superman and President Ronald Reagan discussed the events in Gotham, with Reagan suggesting that Batman may need to be arrested. Batman's return awakened his arch-enemy, Joker, who escaped and killed everyone on a talk show. Batman and Robin tracked him down, where Joker broke his own neck, killing himself. A citywide manhunt for Batman began, and the United States was hit by an electromagnetic pulse, causing chaos during the blackout. Batman and Robin turned the remaining mutants and sons of the Batman into a non-lethal vigilante gang, making Gotham the safest city in the country. Superman confronted Batman and tried to reason with him, but they ended up fighting on equal ground. Before he could fully defeat Superman, Batman had a sudden heart attack and apparently died. Alfred destroyed the Batcave and Wayne Manor before suffering a fatal stroke, exposing Batman as Bruce Wayne, whose fortune had disappeared. However, it was later revealed that his death was staged using a chemical that suspended his vital life signs. In conclusion, Earth 31 portrayed a gritty and intense version of Gotham City, where the lines between the heroes and villains were blurred. It showed the complexity of the characters and their motivations, as well as the impact of Batman on the city and its citizens. Number 7. Elseworlds Batman Holy Terror. Batman Holy Terror was the first Elseworlds story to actually receive an Elseworlds logo. It was written by Alan Brennert and illustrated by the legendary Norm Breyfogle. The story is set in the 20th century, where the United States was run by a theocratic government. Physicians in the Privy Council, Thomas Wayne and his wife Martha, were gunned down by Joseph Chill and left to die. Bruce survived, but was scarred for life. He found his calling in God. 22 years later, chaos was at large in the entire world. Anyone who went against the government was systematically removed or killed. Bruce wanted to join the clergy, when Gordon revealed that the Privy Council themselves set up Joseph to kill Thomas. This was because the council was involved in counter-reproductive activities that experimented on human beings to turn them into meta. In the process, many have lost their lives. Thomas wanted to reveal the truth to the public, so he was assassinated, along with Martha. Bruce later joined the clergy and promised his eternal service to God. He later donned the bat costume that his father once wore to play a demon in a church play, and he went to hunt the council members as the Batman. He learnt of the Star Chamber from his father's colleague, Charles McNider. The meta experiments were being conducted there. He sneaked his way into the Star Chamber using Reverend Judson's ID. There he found several test subjects like Barry Allen and Arthur Curry, who were getting experimented upon to turn them into meta puppets of the council. Barry told them that the experiments were led by an evil Dr. Saul Erdel. While making their way to Erdel, they were attacked by Zatanna, who was dubbed as Witch, working for the council. Batman subdued the Witch and they faced Erdel. When Barry ran at Erdel in anger, Erdel killed him by remotely incinerating him by switching on his aura and burning up his body with friction. Erdel showed him the body of Superman, whom he killed with kryptonite as he was becoming rebellious. Losing all hope and getting angry, Bruce fought Erdel and Clayface. He killed Clayface by freezing him with liquid nitrogen. Erdel fired at Batman, but the bullet hit Superman's body and ricocheted and hit him back, killing him. Batman then met and warned the council that he will continue his fight against the council and bring the council down. A god-man by day, a creature of dark by the night, Bruce continued his war against crime. Number 6. DC New 52 Future's End. The future was bleak and dystopian. 35 years down the line in the New 52 Earth, Brother Eye had transformed most superheroes into cyborg OMAC bugs by assimilating with them. Bruce Wayne had created a time machine to prevent this future, but he was critically injured and Terry McGinnis ended up traveling through time instead. He arrived 5 years too late and discovered that Mr. Terrific was developing the technology that would lead to Brother Eye's ascension. Terry posed as a homeless person to learn more about what had happened. The future was characterized by enormous social upheaval due to the arrival of refugees from Earth 2 and the hordes of apocalypse that had ravaged their world. Governments had responded with hostility, and Mr. Terrific had developed new ways to detect and differentiate people from their Earth and Earth 2. The superhero community was in chaos due to tragedies such as Green Arrow's death, which had caused a falling out between the components of Firestorm, Jason Rush, and Ronnie Raymond. The spacefaring team Stormwatch was destroyed, and Atom and Frankenstein led a team to recover them. Grifter and Deathstroke had worked on Cadmus Island, where Earth 2 refugees were being held captive, and Lois Lane had investigated Green Arrow's death, discovering Tim Drake alive and masquerading as a bartender named Cal. Superman had become more violent, and Shazam had taken over as Superman in Clark Kent's absence. Brainiac had manipulated Mr. Terrific into creating Brother Eye and causing security issues at Cadmus Island. In the final battle, Terry had teamed up with Tim and had sacrificed himself to prevent the rise of the machines. Tim had become the new Batman and had used time travel technology to travel back in time and destroy Brother Eye's satellite in the past. However, when he had emerged in Terry's future, he had discovered that his mission had been a failure and he had vowed to form a resistance in the present day, setting up the new Batman Beyond spin-off series starring Tim Drake as Batman. Overall, this Earth had painted a dark picture of the future in the DC universe, with themes of social division, government hostility, and the dangers of technology run amok. Number 5. Earth 30 Superman Red Sun. In the distant future, Earth's sun went red and changed the physiology of its inhabitants and destabilized Earth. Jor-El and Lara sent their infant son Kal-El in a time-traveling rocket to the past, where it landed in Soviet Ukraine, ruled by Stalin. Kal-El grew up helping humanity with his powers and attained a place in Stalin's preferred circle. In an attempt to create a new Superman, Luthor gave birth to the monstrosity named Bizarro, who was stopped by Superman. Superman dedicated himself to create a better world when Stalin was murdered by his son Peter. He became so obsessed that he decided on interfering with the free will of all humankind for their safety. Batman tried to stop Superman and injured Wonder Woman and revealed Peter's plan to him. He even failed to stop Brainiac when he turned the city of Stalingrad microscopic. Brainiac attempted a full-scale invasion and Luthor went in an all-out war with Superman. Superman was eventually stopped by Lois Lane Luthor. In the end, Superman seemingly sacrificed himself while detonating Brainiac's mothership. He was later shown to be alive and attending the public hero Luthor's funeral. It was later revealed that Jor-El was a descendant of Luthor, making Superman his descendant too. The happenings on this Earth are not necessarily dark or dystopian like Earths that were discussed previously. However, it makes its place to number 4 since Superman was hated in order to begin with and the story started off dark. With so many deaths of superheroes in the course of the story, ultimately this Earth was redeemed. Number 4. Earth 3 Crime Syndicate. On Earth 3, history was not as same as that of main Earth. Here it was altered. For example, an actor named Abraham Lincoln assassinated President John Wilkes Booth. British colonists declared their independence from America and Europe was discovered by Christopher Columbus. This was an Earth that only had supervillains to begin with. The original members of the Crime Syndicate were Atomica, Deathstorm, Grid, Johnny Quick, The Martian, The Outsider, Owlman, Power Ring, Sea King, Superwoman and Ultraman. The leader, Ultraman, encountered Kryptonite while his rocket ship was on its way to Earth 3. The exposure gave him an array of powers. Upon growing up in this reality, he leaned more towards violence and followed an idealism of destruction. He met other superheroes who also loved death and destruction and formed the Crime Syndicate with them. He consumed Kryptonite in order to gain new superpowers, even when sometimes his body went into shock. Once upon consumption of Kryptonite, he enhanced his vision so much that he saw Earth 1, then planned to attack it with the Crime Syndicate. He held his might alone against the combined attack of Superman of Earth 1 and Earth 2. The only hero that was present on this Earth was the heroic scientist Lex Luthor, who used his intel and prowess for the benevolence of his people. This version of the crime syndicate has faced the JSA and JLA many times, but Earth 3 was wiped away by the antimatter wave during Crisis on Infinite Earths. Number 3. Dark Multiverse, Earth 1, The Devastator. The Batman of Earth 1 had never put much faith in Superman because he was worried that one day he might turn evil. Unfortunately, Batman's nightmare would come true when Superman abruptly killed Lois Lane and started brutalizing individuals without explanation. Batman used a kryptonite-tipped spear to fight Superman, but it was quickly destroyed when Superman severed the arm Batman was holding the spear in. To Superman's surprise, Batman injected himself with a modified Doomsday virus and turned into a Doomsday creature. He overpowered Superman and impaled him through the chest, killing him. Apart from all of main Earth Batman's talents, this Batman had unstoppable brute strength, and no hero or villain of this Earth was a match for him. He was the carrier of the Doomsday virus that turned everyone in his vicinity into Doomsday monsters. The Doomsday virus started to spread throughout the globe and turned everyone into mindless, ravaging beasts. This Batman accepted the Batman Who Laughs invitation to join the Dark Knights after it became clear that he couldn't stop the virus from spreading and that Earth 1 was about to die. He became known within the team as the Devastator. While fighting the Justice League of Main Earth, he was incapacitated by Superman in the final battle and was expunged by the white light of Source. Number 2. The World of Doomsday Clock. In 1985, Dr. Manhattan left the Watchmen universe after raiding Ozymandias by killing Rorschach. He was sick of mankind and he was sick of the hopelessness in his universe. He traveled to the main Earth of DC Metaverse. Here he learned that the DC Multiverse is actually a metaverse that was like a living organism. And in the center of it is Superman, the very embodiment of hope. Manhattan learned that whenever there is a danger to Superman by some external agent like the Anti-Monitor or Extent, the lifeline shifted and new Earths formed like branches out of a tree. Dr. Manhattan had an inherent point to prove. Even hope decays. So he played with the reality of the DC Metaverse and prevented the formation of JSA, as aided in killing Superman's parents. The main Earth of DCU became a darker place to begin with very little hope. The world was already facing a crisis as there was a civil unrest going on because of the Superman theory, which stated that most of the superheroes were created by the government of the United States. While Manhattan studied just Superman and was waiting for the deciding time when Superman would fight him, Ozymandias from the Watchmen universe made his move. In a last-ditch effort to save the Watchmen universe from the ongoing nuclear holocaust, he came to the DCU main Earth with Mine, Marionette, and a new Rorschach. In order to find out Manhattan on this Earth, he manipulated Firestorm and framed Superman to show that he attacked the people of Russia. Putin declared war on the USA in retaliation. DCU was on the brink of a nuclear holocaust. Meanwhile, Manhattan incapacitated all other superheroes on Mars. Black Adam and his group of supervillains attacked the president. Superman intervened and met Manhattan for the first time. Manhattan was sure that Superman will charge towards him, and that would be the deciding moment for the DCU. However, Superman only jumped in to punch and stop a supervillain from attacking Manhattan. Superman appealed to Manhattan to help him save innocents by pointing out Manhattan's and Jenny's photograph that Manhattan left as a chronal footprint wherever he went. Ultimately, Manhattan realized that Superman was the hope for the metaverse, and hope was the true north. Manhattan undid everything he did. He brought back the JSA and Superman's parents. He fixed the entire DCU and helped preserve all the timelines of Superman. He fixed the Watchmen Earth by giving his powers. He raised Mime and Marionette's child and named him Clark and gave him up for adoption to Laurie and Daniel. So in the end, this bleak timeline was also expunged with the help of sheer belief and hope, known better as Superman. Number 1. Dark Multiverse, Earth 22, The Batman Who Laughs. When Joker discovered the Batman is actually Bruce Wayne, he murdered most of the other Batman rogues along with Commissioner Gordon. Then, after giving thousands of residents of Gotham City the chemicals that altered him, he killed a number of parents in front of their children to make fun of Bruce. During their battle, Batman unintentionally killed the Joker, unleashing a concentrated version of the Joker toxin from Joker's body. Combining the Joker's psychopathy and sadistic nature of humor with Bruce Wayne's intellect and physical prowess, this toxin eventually transformed Bruce into a new hybrid of Batman and the Joker. Following this, the Batman Who Laughs conquered Earth 22, eliminating the majority of his friends and transforming Damian Wayne into a miniature Joker while enlisting the kids affected by the Joker toxin as his rabid Robins. The Batman Who Laughs was incredibly sick and twisted, possessing all of Batman's skills along with the Joker's sick nihilism. He had the ability to view people's dark desires and anxieties as alternative manifestations of their present behavior. His distinctive metal crown served as a futuristic visor constructed of dark metal, which allowed him to filter these activities, predict his opponent's future movements in battle, and mentally influence them. The Batman Who Laughs also employed dark metal batarangs, which had the power to bring out the worst aspects of the victim. When Earth 22 died, Laughs was recruited by Barbatos as his second-in-command while he attacked Main Earth. During the Dark Knights Metal event, he appeared on Main Earth with Barbatos' Dark Knights and started wreaking havoc. His aim was to destroy all of existence by connecting the Over-Monitor to Anti-Monitor's astral brain. He was eventually stopped by Batman and Joker. He was imprisoned by Lex Luthor, but he told Lex the secret of the Source Wall and was somehow set free. He attacked Bruce with the aid of other corrupted Batmen from the Dark Universe. In retaliation, Bruce infected himself with Joker toxin and turned into a version of Laughs. He fought and defeated Laughs and was revived by Alfred. Laughs was locked up in the Hall of Justice. During the Death Metal event, he made a pact with Perpetua and tried to take over Main Earth with his new Dark Knights. He transplanted the brain of Bat Manhattan into himself and turned into the Darkest Knight, the most powerful Batman in existence. He was killed by Wonder Woman in the final battle when she hurled him into the sun. This is perhaps the sickest Earth to ever exist, with the roguest Batman in it. Marvelous verdict. So, my Metaheads, we conclude our list of top 26 sick and twisted Earths in the DC Metaverse. Keep liking and sharing our content. Make sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Rest assured that our channel will keep coming up with new such sick lists of DC Earths as soon as they keep popping up in the Metaverse. Until next time, my Metaheads. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.